Hey folks, I'm just going to give everyone a minute here to log in and then we'll get started.
Oh, yeah, we're good.
All right. Welcome, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're joining us from today. Welcome to today's webinar, co hosted by the New York Oracle User Group and Oracle partner Viscosity. We've got a great presenter for you today, Oracle ACE Director Karen Cannell. So if you've got questions, make sure you take advantage of her time, throw them into the Q&A field, and she'll get to them as she can. This is a live webinar, so don't forget to use that Q&A field. And if you have any other questions, you can also put them in there for Coleman or myself if it's anything logistic. So as I said, it is a live webinar and it is being recorded. You will have access to today's webinar through NYOUG or through Viscosity. We will send you an email after it's posted so you know where to find it. All right, my name is Monica. I'm the marketing director here at Viscosity, a full Oracle Stack consulting firm. I'll tell you a little more about us later, but first I'm going to turn it over to Coleman, who's going to tell you a little bit about the New York Oracle User Group.
Thank you, Monica. So the New York Oracle User Group was formed in 1984 for the exchange of ideas, assistance, and support among users of Oracle software products. And you can reach out to us on Meetup, LinkedIn, Facebook, and of course our website, nyoug.org, where we host all the past 5 years of webinars that we've been co-hosting with Viscosity. And I wish to thank Viscosity for co-hosting these series of webinars going back that time and continue on forward
Yes.
from there. Thank you, Monica.
Thanks, Coleman. Okay, I'll make this quick because I think it looks like a lot of regulars on here today. All right, so if you're not familiar with Viscosity, my name is Monica, marketing director here. Hopefully, I've seen you guys at some conferences or on previous webinars like this. We are a full Oracle Stack consulting firm. Like I said, our core expertise is in Oracle database, including RAC, Oracle Apex. We perform near zero downtime migrations for our clients, a lot of performance tuning and high availability projects. And currently, we've been prepping most of our clients to get ready for 23 AI. All right, so on this slide, you'll see the three major pillars that we're built upon: data, apps, and cloud or infrastructure. And across the bottom, you'll see items or services that we offer across all three of these. And these are some of my colleagues, some of our executive management staff that are part of the ACE program, just like Karen. So these folks are in the community constantly. They are presenting, they're writing, you name it. If you need content, you need help and assistance, I highly recommend seeking some of them out, finding their blogs, their books, things like that. But hopefully you already own some of their books and you've seen them at conferences as well. Okay, on this page, I always just like to point out one. Most of the others I kind of touch base on in other slides, but Oracle License Management partners like Viscosity are always great to help you purchase anything through Oracle. There are a few things that you might have to go direct for, but most things you can go through a partner, you can get deeper discounts, or you can at least have a third party help you understand the process, help you make sure you're taking advantage of your investments after the fact, things like that. It's a nice way to make something that can be complicated very easy. Okay, and finally, our recordings are all hosted at www.orapub.com. You can find all of our free webinars posted here, as well as at nyoug.org. But if you're not a member here already, you can get a free membership. There are paid membership tiers that give you just a little extra. I do recommend asking your employer if they're willing to reimburse you for subscriptions like this. We host a lot of live classes and things like that where paid members get some discounts to those, or they get a few extra presentations throughout the months. So check that out if you haven't already, and we'll let you know when our video is posted here. And other than that, make sure you keep signing up for our future webinars, either through nyoug.org or at Viscosity's event page here. Hopefully you're already getting our newsletter, so you can just click through to our reminders. So I'm going to push this back over to Coleman to introduce Karen to us, and we'll get started.
Thank you, Monica. So Karen Cannell is the CTO of TH Technology, providing Oracle consulting services within Oracle Apex specialty. An engineer by degree, she has analyzed, designed, developed, converted, upgraded, enhanced, and otherwise improved database applications for 30 plus years, concentrating on Oracle tools since 1994. She's worked with Apex since its beginning and leverages the Oracle technology stack for clients in government, medical, and engineering industries. Karen is an Oracle ACE director, OTUG KEO #1, retired OTUG director, frequent Oracle user group volunteer, and conference presenter, and editor emeritus of the OTUG Technical Journal, co-author of several Oracle Apex books, Apex Gal, and Partner. Karen may be contacted, and you'll see her contact information at the end of the page. Thank you so much, Karen. I hope I didn't blunder some of the wording on there, but we're glad to have you here presenting to the group today. So thank you again.
Thank you, Goldman. I think I'm set to share, I hope. Good, good. Yeah, thank you, Coleman, Monica, Rob. It's awesome to be here. And I hear all the intro stuff, and it's like, now I just do stuff. I love giving back, and I think all of us that do this kind of stuff, certainly Coleman and Monica, and we have fun, and so join us. But so welcome everyone that's here. If at any time you can't hear me, you get the sexy voice today, or whatever we want to call it. Apparently that's what I'm gonna have for the next few days. And if you ever can't hear me or can't see something, let me know during the presentation. So Apex, open query context. What the heck is it, and why do you care? And this, as are most of my sessions, this is very interesting. It's not letting me. There we go. Um, are all built on issues that I ran into as I was working for a client and said, hey, somebody else might want to know that. And when you run into something like that, think of NYOUG and say, hey, I have a new webinar for you. Volunteer for your user group. It is the best thing you can do for your career, to help others get out there, network. And this is a great group of people that have been doing this stuff for a long time, and I'm always happy to help you guys out. Special shout out to Coleman and Monica and Rob that have been doing this for a long time to keep the flow of information coming. It really makes a difference in our world today. You already got the blurb about me. The key thing is I give back and help other people. I am an ACE director. We have a new initiative with ODTUG, the ODTUG Oracle ACE Alliance. This is for people that aren't an Oracle ACE but want to learn more. Maybe you want to learn about giving a webinar or writing a blog or a podcast, but you're not sure, or you are an Oracle ACE and you want help getting to the next level. All you need to do is join up as a free member at ODTUG and go to ODTUG Oracle ACE Alliance and join us. We'll be getting meetings going in the next few months, where we'll have monthly meetings to just help people learn how to give back, basically. This is my happy place. Why do you care? Well, after COVID, we really should all care. We all need I don't know about you guys, but my internet never went down. Um, as the IT world, we are on the front of things. And I'm no good at my job if I don't take a step back, go to my happy place, and refuel, regroup, and stay sane. So, whatever your happy place is, stay healthy, stay sane, so that you can come to these meetings. And hopefully, when you get a chance to go to an in-person event, go, go. It's like, when you get a chance to dance, dance, go and let's rekindle all our networks. So, this is where I'd love to be able to look out at the audience and say, okay, who's new to Apex? Who has this for Apex experience? What versions are you on? When I say open query context, are your eyes rolling into the back of your head? So I'm going to kind of guess that since it said Apex, a lot of you work in Apex or know at least what it is, and you're on one of the versions greater than Apex 5, and you're saying open query what, and why would I care? So that's where I'm coming from. Um, Open query context isn't a PL/SQL API. It's an Apex PL/SQL API. And if you don't know this shortcut, apexoracle.com/API brings you right to the API page for Apex. And in there, there is a whole bunch. It's all the PL/SQL APIs. The only ones we're really going to go over here is this Apex region open query context, um, because that's obviously that's the key of the talk. That's going to give you data. I'm going to point out this Apex exec as well. Apex exec encapsulate data processing, blah, 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 blah. This is the magic that makes it possible in an Apex region to use tabular view or query or REST data source or Apex web source. That Apex exec, when that came into being, that means we can do a lot more with our regions. And as many of you that have worked with Apex know, using REST data opened up a lot of the world of Apex. So check out these APIs. It's great. Breakfast reading or bedtime reading, whatever is your best reading time. What we care about Apex is Apex region open query context, and it gives you a context that returns the current region or the region you're pointing to, that region's data. Why do we care? Well, I'll get to that. It looks like this, where we have a page ID, a region ID, and a component ID. That component ID could be if you have an interactive report, maybe it's a specific report ID. Same with a grid where you can have multiple reports or multiple views of that data. The component ID would be pointing to that particular view, that particular report ID. So more on this later. And notice that this returns a context and that, hey, that comes from Apex exec. These additional filters are also defined in Apex exec. The two work together, but really all you have to know is Apex region open query context for everything I'm going to show you today. If you want to learn more, read up on Apex exec and all the different constants and everything. All you need to know here is this is returning a context, which is nothing more than a pointer to the data of this region on that page. More later. I'm putting you to sleep already. And a refresher. Apex exec is that magic that allows us to use table, query, or REST service. That's the underpinnings of all the data calls in Apex these days. Now, if you did go out and do that reading, you're going to say, hey, Karen, what about open query context in Apex exec? And yes, there is one there too. As a matter of fact, there's two. There's one for those of you that write plugins. I'm not going to go over that today, and I'll show you in a second. It does the same thing. It returns a pointer to the data of the query on that, the data of that particular region on that particular page. Again, it's returning that context pointer to the data. And Apex exec open query context has all these parameters. And I don't know about you, but I looked at that and I said, okay, I'll go back to the short version and I'll use that. So open query context, I'm a few minutes in and you're still saying, why am I here? What the heck is she talking about? Well, open query context returns the current region's data, or that region that I just pointed to, the current set of data in that region. Well, why do I care? Well, so I know exactly what data set as executed is in that region. If it's an interactive report, the user may have combined a whole bunch of filters, and that's important. I want the data as they filtered it, and open query context will give that to me. And I get all excited about this, and you're still like, well, how do you even know this? Why would you care? Well, this all went back to back in 2023. I was writing and some of you have seen this app, a simple plan your snorkel app for the Friends of the Virgin Islands National Park. And I had a faceted search page with a map. The faceted search was controlling my map, but I also needed a report on that page, and I wanted my facets to control the report as well. And as I describe this, why don't I just show it to you? This isn't the exact one, but we'll do one that say it looked kind of like this. And so it zooms in and it gives me a map of the Virgin Islands and all these snorkel areas. And when I want to filter, I need my report to filter the same way. And not only that, if I zoom in on my map, I need that report to filter the same way, and then people can click to learn more. And so I needed to know how to make that work. And I asked people, I was at conferences, and I'm like, how do I get the where clause of this region to match the where clause of this region? And this is where if we were live, I'd say, how do you do that? And you say, well, you know each facet is an item, and even though I don't see any where clause here, I can always add one to this region and figure it out. And that all works fine and good when my facets are all one-to-one, but my facets aren't one-to-one. I can have multiples. So my where clause becomes when any of these is in any of these, and I was just way confused, and I went back and forth, and I got a very long. I finally got to Connor McDonald, got a very long. Um, oh, the cast. It's the data as JSON and do JSON query answer, which went choom. And again, that was fine for one facet, but when I had 5 facets, I was turning blue. And then Karsten said, look at this blog post. I answered your question. It's open query context. And I said, open query what? And I got here. And this blog is still relevant. When faceted search came out in 2019, this came out at the end of that year. And this says how to add a chart to your faceted search page. Exact thing that I was doing. And so what are we talking about? What Karsten showed us in that blog post is the faceted search is on the facets, control the report. He wanted to add the chart and control this chart. And open query context lets us peek at the data in this report and build the query for this chart. So is that clear as mud yet? Hang with me a few minutes more. So why does this matter? Because without knowing the exact sequel of that report region, because I have no clue what someone might have clicked on facets, or if they had an interactive report, what they filtered, I can get the data of that region, and that is what's really, really cool. And I know you're still like, what? Who cares? Okay, that means I can synchronize a chart and a report on a faceted region or on a smart filter region. That means I can easily synchronize regions on a dashboard with using that same call to open query context. I use that same pointer. I can find out, does a region even have any data in it right now? I can do things like for an interactive report or an interactive grid with a lot of data. I can get the row count. I think we've all gotten afraid of X to Y of Z because that Z means I have to get all the rows, and that means I have to wait for Apex to do whatever it does to download all those rows. And even in a grid, it's still slow. Or if I'm downloading rows out of an interactive report or grid, and there's more than, say, 500 or 1,000, I don't want my end users to wait. I can do it faster by using open query context to point at that region, say, give me the data. I'll write my own download and I'll do it faster. And I'll show you these things. I can use open query context for plugins and more. And hopefully I'm sparking some ideas. And if I haven't yet, then watch these few examples. So this I showed you really briefly. Facets will work on a map or a report region, not both. But in this case, I'm controlling both by using open query context, not on my map region. I wanted some complexities in a map region. I used that open query context call to point to the map region and control my report region. I'll show you how a little bit later. This faster download of interactive report and grid data could look like this, where in this it's only showing about 1,000 rows, but many of our interactive reports and grids have much more data, and we don't want end users clicking download because they'll be waiting and then they'll click again, and then our DBA is yelling at us because all these users are clicking on the download and it's backing up the database. So I can write my own, and I'll show you how I did that. Smart filter on multiple regions. Now, in this case, I'm using this smart filter. It's controlling 3 different regions. My actual control region is hidden. I don't even have to display the region that open query context is pointing to. All I have to do is point to it and grab the data out of it. So here my smart filter is controlling a region on this page that is display none. And I'm using it to control my other regions and display data based on the data in the hidden region. This is kind of cool. Hopefully you're getting a little bit excited now. Plugins. This is from Matt Mulvaney, Pretius. He wrote the X to Y of Z plugin, and no, it doesn't display in red like this. I just wanted to show, make it higher. This isn't a real huge report, but when you get over 1,000 rows, that Z is costly, and refreshing that Z is costly. This plugin makes that faster. The plugin uses open query context to point to the as filtered report, get the data, and just do a row count. It's pretty cool. So now, hopefully I got you curious. How does it work? Well, very, very simply. You call open query context pointing at that source region and have it return information about all the columns, because using Apex exec, I can get information about every single column. Or, and this is just for convenience, hold this thought, we might just get some ID columns or some key columns. So back to Carson's example, and this is, I'm going to go I'm going to walk through it a little bit in Carson's. This is a classic blog, and everything Carson does is really good. He walks you right through it. Create a faceted search, blah, 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 create this, create this. But he goes right through, here's how you create the steps of the open query context call. I'm just going to put it out in presentation form. We create a row type, and in this case, it's emp row, and I'm listing the columns in the row. Now, this is an object. It's not based on a table, but I need the row type. Then I create a table type based on the row type. I use that table type as the return in my pipeline table function. Now, hopefully, half of you that just fell on the floor will get up. Pipeline table functions, if you haven't used them before, this is going to make them less scary to you. As a matter of fact, this is going to make them very easy to you. So every single one of our open query context functions to return data is going to be architected pretty much the same, where I have a page ID. I may have an app ID as well, app ID, page ID. The region static ID, this is the static ID of the region that I want the data of, and it returns the table type pipelines. And you can see it uses this little context thing, which remember is the pointer to our data. So pipeline table function, passing in app ID, page ID, region, static ID. First thing I do in the body of this pipeline table function, I'm going to break it out step by step. I get the region ID of the faceted search region or the region of interest. Maybe it's an interactive report region, maybe it's a grid region, maybe it's a region on my dashboard. And that is select region ID using the app ID, the page ID, and that region static ID. The region static ID is the one in the advanced element of your region that a lot of the times we leave blank. If you're going to use open query context, stick a name in there. That's the human readable name. And so that region, we use that region static ID to get the big, ugly, long Apex internal region ID. Then I call open query context using the page ID and that Apex internal region ID, and I get what? This pointer. Now, using that pointer, I'm going to get the column indexes of all my columns. Now, if I'm getting using a row type, I need to know on my columns, and I need to know the types of my columns, and I'm going to use Apex exec to build the row. And so I need a little bit of intelligence about the data that I'm getting if I am getting the whole row. And I do the pipe row, and this is using Apex exec. While I have a next row, give me that row, and I just loop until I'm out of rows, and then I close my context and return it. This is cool. So I'm really piping out row by row the contents of the region I pointed to. Hopefully you're following this. Now I have that, I'm going to do something with it. And in the case of this chart, this is the query on that chart. Select e-name and salary from the open query context call to my report region. And so since it is a pipeline table function, I can cast it as a table and treat it as a table. And now I can do things like query from it and stick it in a region, or I could use it in a join. and add a where clause. I can do anything I can do with a table, with that pipeline table function once I cast it as a table. And this is where I would love to see your faces because that's the guts of it. That is the guts of it. And I'd like to say, are there any questions at this point? And if you have questions, I'm going to go over it again a little bit more simply. And then I'm going to drill it into you because we're going to go through a lot of questions, a lot of examples. So I took Karsten's example, and in my snorkel site, I had like 12 columns there, and I'm like, that's a lot of busy work to pipe the row for 12 columns. All I need is that ID. So if I kind of extrapolate here, all I need to do is get the row IDs of the faceted region or the interactive report region or whatever it is, and apply those to my other regions. And there are different blog posts here that will help you along your way. The Kanban board is the first one I saw that said, yep, you can do what you just thought of, Karen. So um, I simplified it. Part of it was being lazy. Part of it was like, I don't want to do make it all that complicated. I just need the IDs. So my get region IDs does the same thing. I get the region ID given the region static ID. I call open query context using that internal region ID. I'm only using my what happens to be the primary key. And so my loop is just getting all the IDs that are displayed in that region. Remember that map region in my case is a faceted map, and someone who knows what facets they used, who know what zoom level they're on, who knows where they are on the map. I don't care. Open query context will give me the data that's displayed on that map right now. Yes. So same idea, by just getting the row IDs, it's less work. And then in my case, my do something is I cast that function as a table, and there's my page and my static ID, and then used it in the join, and it works just the same. It works sweet. As a matter of fact, it works so well that I put it out as an idea that the Apex team should make this automatic on faceted search regions and smart filter regions. They should give us an option to have all our all our regions work that way automatically, because why not? I mean, I could have faceted search regions, and these would I should be able to do this automatically, and this would just work. And I thought it was a really cool idea. Um, anyhow, that these would be joined. The Apex team, however, thought about it. They actually talked about it, and they said no. And the reason was, and Karsten was the decider, because open query context exists. And why should the Apex team have to do any more work? They have a big long list of things to do when the solution already exists. So let me show you how I do these things behind the scenes. And I'm going to repeat myself again here, and then I'll show you in the app where I did a generic get region context IDs. And I stuck the app ID in because I'm not sure where someone's going to be. We can always bury that in the query calls. I did not want to do that. So, I could have used a NVL app ID or page ID. I wanted to be very transparent about what I was doing. So app ID, page ID, region static ID, the column name of my, in this case, primary key, my column of interest. Get region ID, open query context call, get column position, loop through my rows, and then send back that context. And then in this case, I cast as a table and do the join. Now, someone's saying, Karen, that's not everything. But let me show you here. And you're right, because I need a dynamic action to synchronize the report results. So open query context will get me that data. So here's my facets. Here's my map. And in my map, I do have a bunch of stuff about the map bounding box. That's the part that allows me to do the zooms and the rectangle box to zoom into a particular area. But I didn't, you know, with open query context, I'm like, oh my gosh, am I going to do that there too? This is my report results. And all these other little regions are tying things together on the page. Here's my report query, which has different stuff in it. And here is my table function and my join. And if that's not visible, now notice because I have this stuff in here, my table function that's I'm joining to the data in my map region. I don't need to do any of this map bounding box. I don't need to do any facet stuff, any bounding box stuff. This does all that for me. It's really, really cool. So that's cool. That gives me the data in this region, but I also need the dynamic action that on change of my facets region. I need to set the facet values, and they're all page items. And then I refresh my facet count, refresh another display of the facet count, and then I refresh my report region. So it's not just open query context. Open query context gets the data. The dynamic action is what refreshes my region on those things. So pretty cool. Next example, I could probably just walk through. In this case, I'm looking, I'm using the as filtered interactive report. I think it's an interactive report. And for my downloads, I'm using open query context. So in my actual download code, and this is the JSON example, I'm using just a simple JSON aggregate on the same view that my interactive report is based on. And you can see I'm using that table function again, just as a table, and I'm joining it on ID to ID. And again, app ID page, static region ID, and the name of the join column that I'm going to use. And then I do whatever. I just grab the data as filtered, and then I zip it and download it. And what that looks like in this guy is that same thing. These I can filter however I want here. I don't even know if there are multi-days, but this gives me JSON. CSV will be another way. It's just different queries. This is a simple example, but you could do whatever you need to. I just wrote up, I showed you the JSON, which is, and I do some things to create the file name, but that's just what I showed you. And there is the magic that ties me to my as filtered region. If it's CSV, different stuff in here, different stuff, same thing, same thing. Are you getting the idea now? Are you thinking possibilities? Smart filter. This one's a little different because, I can do these jobs. But my actual driving region is hidden. Why? Because that region needs to have all the data in it. So these are the regions that you see, and these regions are filtered by, and what's that? It looks like that same call. Well, in fact, it is that same call. Here's my region that is just on the full table. And notice that this region has a static ID of results. It also has a class, where'd that class go? Of hidden. And that class is, most of you know what you're going to see here. That class is nothing more than, down here. Imagine that. Display none is what hides the region, but I can still point to it using this guy. And again, result is a static ID, my static region ID, and empno is the column that I'm pointing to. And you're like, oh, Karen, that's different. Well, if I go over to SQL Dev, it's a different name, but it's the same thing, just in a different package, right? Get the region, open query context, pipe the row, and then do something. Are you getting the idea? Am I boring you yet now? Here's the plugin. He did this a little bit differently. Where'd my example for the plugin go? I have it somewhere. It's in the slides somewhere. Smart filter I just showed you. Okay, here's my plugin. Sorry. Slides out of order, sorry. For the plugin, he calls open query context. He needed to use some outer SQL because it is a plugin. Next row. Now he's just getting the count. Notice this, just get a number, and I'm just getting one. And he's just getting the row count. And then doing something, in this case, he's just putting that number out there to make that big number on the plugin. Now I haven't showed you this one yet. I'm controlling the whole dashboard by open query context. The filters are only controlling this first region, and I do it the exact same way. What's interesting about this, it's on dumb, simple data. It's not even real data. But I'm calling open query context on the driving, pointing to the driving region. I'm looping to get the key IDs, which when you see this behind the scenes, you're gonna laugh. And actually, do I show you let me just show you this guy behind the scenes because it's so dumb simple that it makes the point. I want to go here and go to the dashboard, which is just so silly simple. I need a value here. I'll give them all. It's pretty cool. But when you look at this data, just to show that this works on anything. So here's my series. All my series are essentially the same. Look, it's not even real data. It's sys dual. And so here, my driving region is controlled by my page items, but all my other regions are controlled by and we're so used to seeing this now. I use that same get region context. And I did it on the value because that was the number. And so just to show how flexible this is to do that. And then my dynamic action here is on change of my page items. I can do it that way. Then I set the values and then I refresh a bunch of charts. Then you can see these. And that's how simple it is. It's just so silly simple that it's kind of fun. So I hope I got my point across. I hope you're not like, oh my God, she repeated herself how many times? So my point is here, what is your case? I hope I got you thinking, like, what can I do with something like this? Um, I get a region's data, or maybe I find out there's no data in that region, and I do something based on the fact that there's no data in that region. And once I know that region's data, I can synchronize with faceted regions. I can synchronize with any native region. I can supplement features. You can do whatever you dream of. And if you haven't dreamed of it, I'm going to bet that your customers, your clients, your company, someone in your company will come up with something, some way where you can use this. And I'm hoping that all of you are still vertical, are thinking about ways where, hey, if I know the region's data, I might be able to apply that. I'm thinking of, in EPM places where if I know what's in that financials region, can I use that over here and have fun with this stuff? And at that point, I can talk more about this and show you more examples, but I'd really love to hear from you guys and what are your use cases? What are your questions? And Coleman, Veronica, Monica, do we have any questions? Are
Yes,
people
Karen, as
still
a matter of fact,
standing?
Karen, there is a question. Uh, so if you look on Q&A, the second question,
Okay.
I can read it to you if it's expedites.
Yeah, I'm trying, let me find, when I present, I don't look at these guys. Okay, cool. Um, oh, so Suzanne, so I'm essentially querying the user's criteria filter selection. Yes. What's really cool about open query context pointing to an interactive report or an interactive grid is that I am pointing at the as filtered results. And that's what makes it so, so cool. Let me go one more and get to here. And that's why I love this download is I can, let me move that for you. Go over there. Um, I can have someone filter whatever. Maybe they only want to download one trip ID. Um, I don't need to know what they did ever. I don't need to know who they are because I'm using open query context to point to this report. And then this is a place where I'd use a component ID to get in case I had a private report or in this case I have them locked down, but I would want to get the actual report that they are using. I can get their query exactly as they filter it. Maybe they rearranged columns and maybe I need to know how they rearranged that columns. I can get that out of open query context. It's really, really cool. Any other questions? And I hopefully I have um, really got some ideas flowing. Um, to give you some perspective, I had read Karsten's thing in 2019 when it came out, and I was like, and my eyes glazed over. Yeah, I'll never use that. I'll never use it until I find a use case for it. And so hopefully this will be in your brains and you'll have a little bit, um, it'll jog your memory like, oh, maybe there is a thing where I can get the data of that region and maybe I can use it. So Judith, thank you very much for your comment. And I can keep talking. I'd love to hear from you guys, and I will bring you back to my slides. There are resources at the end to just for reference. Um, but more important, email me if you have questions, if you have some really cool use case. Let me know because I will share that when I do this again. And I enjoy sharing this stuff. I'm hopefully I spark some ideas in you and if not now, then when you know John Q question comes up 3 months from now, you'll say, aha, I know exactly how to do that. So thank you all very, very much for joining and have a great day and really, really have fun with this stuff.
Thank you, Karen, so much. Any other questions, just feel free to put into the
Oh,
Q&A.
sure. Um, I'm not even going to guess how to pronounce your name, but the question is, in the case of can be used in a plugin, how to deal with nested JSON. You would get, see, the open query context call is just going to return your data, and you would use that in your plugin as you would use it in your plugin. So I kind of think of the nested JSON um, question as more of a plugging complexity question than an open query context. And in that sense, I am not um, qualified to answer that. However, if you want to send me a more specific example, I can work through it with you. And hopefully that helps. I know it's kind of a non-answer, but I am always happy to help with that. And I'm here for the next few minutes, or you guys can take 5 back for yourselves. And um, like I said at the beginning, support your user group. As you have things, we all work on our unique stuff, and you think, oh, I don't know anything, but you do. You do. So think of sharing that stuff with the rest of us. I know Karsten's always looking for new stuff.
Yes,
And
we
again,
can
everything will be
always use
posted
more.
on the New York Oracle Users Group website as well as Viscosity's website, both the PowerPoint and the video.
Definitely. And if
And
anybody here is in the Chicago area, Karen and myself and some of our colleagues in the industry will be in Chicago at the Oracle Innovation Lab this week. So if that's your area, check us out. We do have a full tech day going on. And hopefully we'll have a tech day like this in your area if you're not there. And I'm always loving to travel and put together things with regional user groups. So if you want something like that in your area, reach out to me. And, if we have enough demand, maybe we can go out to your city as well. All right.
I will be in Chicago with this same voice, probably. It might go back
Sounds
to
a
normal.
little better.
You can vote. Do you like this voice or the regular one? And it doesn't matter what you vote, what you vote. I'm hoping it goes back to regular.
I hope so too. Well, okay, with that, I think this is a great place to close out. I don't see any other questions. So, quick reminders to everyone, look for an email from myself or one of my colleagues letting you know when the video recording is posted to NYOUG or Viscosity's Orapub. Karen will hopefully provide these slides to us and any other resources she wants to share. Awesome. And otherwise, we hope to see you guys at the next webinar. Coleman, Rob, thank you guys for your support always. And Karen, thank you so much for presenting for us. We do hope you come back.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Always fun too. So join us. More fun. More
Yes.
people, more fun.
Love it.
Thank you.
And I love that we have a very user group friendly little panel here. We all
Yes.
love user groups. So get involved, like Karen said, in any way you can. Good volunteers are always hard to find.
Oh yeah, and we'll suck you in. We'll help you. And we have a lot of fun. And yes, I will be at Eco
Hey.
and so I'm looking
Will you
forward
be
to
at
seeing.
Oracle AI
I
World?
I will be at AI World and
Wonderful.
if anyone's going early, I got a ticket to the Eagles on
Ooh,
airline points. And I would love to see the Wizard of Oz too.
I may have to join you.
That would be a blast. That would be a blast.
Yes.
So looking forward. See, we're gonna suck you guys in if you haven't
Yes. It
come
is
along
great
with us.
friend groups within the community. So
Yes.
we love that.
Um, so thank you all, and we'll see some of you very soon, and the rest of you, I hope I will see soon.
Awesome.
Take
Thank you
care.
so
Thank you.
much. And again, if anyone has any questions for Karen after the fact, just shoot us an email if you didn't catch her email right here, and we'll put you in touch. All right. Thank you guys so
Great.
much. I hope everyone has a great rest of their week.
Same here. Bye bye
Take
now.
care. Bye.
Thank you.